When most people think of Hollywood, they picture red carpets, award speeches, movie stars, and billion-dollar blockbusters. What they usually don't see is the business machine behind the screen, a global entertainment industry that operates through contracts, data models, distribution power, branding systems, and corporate incentives. Hollywood is not just a creative hub. According to widely reported industry analyses, it is one of the most structured and financially engineered media ecosystems in the world. And once you understand how that system actually works, the movies you watch and how they get made start to look very different. The global film and television industry is commonly estimated in the hundreds of billions of dollars when combined with streaming, licensing, and related media sectors. Major studios, often referred to historically as the big studios, have long controlled multiple stages of the pipeline, including production, financing, marketing, and distribution. Media economists describe this as vertical integration, where the same corporate group influences how content is created, promoted, and delivered to audiences. This structure is legal and widely documented. But what many viewers don't realize is how strongly this business model shapes which stories get told, and which never reach the screen. One lesser-known industry reality is that creative decisions are rarely based on story quality alone. According to interviews with producers and writers published across major trade outlets, greenlighting decisions often depend on risk calculations, forecast models, and global market compatibility. Studios and platforms frequently evaluate whether a project can succeed across multiple regions, age groups, and advertiser comfort levels. That means a script might be praised creatively, but still rejected commercially. For audiences, it can feel like trends appear randomly. Inside the system, they are often carefully calculated. Historically, Hollywood operated under what film historians call the studio contract era, especially prominent in the mid-20th century. During that period, actors and directors often signed long-term exclusive contracts with specific studios. Archival records show that some performers were assigned roles, publicity appearances, and even public personas by contract structure. The system has evolved significantly since then, and modern performers typically have more negotiation power. However, exclusivity clauses, image clauses, and performance obligations are still standard elements in major contracts today. This is not hidden, but it is rarely understood by general audiences. The public often assumes talent has full freedom of choice, when in reality, leverage depends heavily on bargaining position and market value. Another major shift happened with the rise of streaming platforms. Over the past decade, multiple executives and showrunners have publicly explained that data analytics now plays a central role in content approval. Platforms reportedly analyze viewing completion rates, pause behavior, rewatch patterns, genre clustering, and audience retention curves. In simple terms, algorithms help decide which projects look safe enough to fund. This does not mean humans are removed from decisions, but it does mean predictive. Engagement modeling increasingly influences creative investment. The hidden layer here is that two similar scripts may receive different outcomes purely based on projected data performance, not artistic difference. This leads to a counterintuitive insight. Many viewers believe originality is the main driver of success in entertainment. Industry reporting suggests that predictability can sometimes be more attractive to investors than originality. Familiar story structures, recognizable character types, and proven genre formulas often receive funding more easily because their performance risk is easier to estimate. That helps explain why reboots, sequels, and franchise expansions appear so frequently. It's not only creative recycling, it's financial risk management. Marketing power is another under-discussed factor. According to widely reported trade data, major studio film marketing campaigns can cost tens of millions of dollars, sometimes approaching the production budget itself. Global press tours, media partnerships, premiere events, and cross-brand promotions are part of coordinated visibility strategies. Research in media studies has shown that audience perception of importance can be strongly influenced by exposure frequency. In other words, the more people see something promoted, the more culturally significant it feels. This doesn't mean audiences are manipulated, but it does show how visibility shapes perceived value. Awards campaigns are another interesting case. Investigative features in entertainment journalism have documented that award season often includes structured promotional efforts, private screenings, targeted advertising, critic outreach, and industry events. These campaigns are legal and openly discussed in trade publications. But general audiences often assume awards recognition is purely organic. The hidden truth is that recognition frequently involves strategic campaigning in addition to artistic merit. Both factors can be present at the same time. Distribution control has historically been one of the strongest forms of power in Hollywood. Before the streaming era, theatrical distribution access determined which films reached mass audiences. Independent filmmakers often relied on festivals like Sundance, Cannes, or Toronto to secure distribution deals. Even today, industry panels frequently discuss how distribution partnerships remain one of the biggest barriers for independent creators. A film can be critically strong yet remain unseen without distribution backing. This bottleneck effect has been widely acknowledged in film business reporting. The franchise model reveals another important mechanism. According to corporate earnings reports from major studios, a large portion of long-term revenue often comes not from ticket sales alone, but from intellectual property expansion, including merchandise, licensing, streaming rights, spin-offs, and theme park integrations. That means studios frequently evaluate projects based on universe potential, not just standalone story strength. A film that can become a multi-product ecosystem may be more attractive financially than a powerful one-time story. Viewers rarely see this evaluation layer, but it plays a major role in project selection. There is also a labor structure dimension that gained public attention through widely covered writers' and actors' union negotiations in recent years. Industry unions have raised concerns about how compensation models adapt to streaming distribution, where viewership data is often proprietary. Traditional residual payment systems, where creators received ongoing compensation based on reruns or syndication, operate differently in the streaming environment. Negotiations around transparency and compensation formulas have been reported extensively in mainstream news. This highlights how technology shifts can change creative incentives and income structures simultaneously. Another lesser-known factor is international market influence. Box office analysts frequently note that global performance, especially in large overseas markets, now plays a major role in project financing decisions. As a result, scripts are sometimes evaluated for cross-cultural clarity and regulatory compatibility. This can affect dialogue, themes, and story framing. It does not automatically mean censorship, but it does mean global market strategy can influence creative direction. Test screenings are another documented practice that surprises many viewers. Studios often conduct controlled audience previews and collect detailed feedback metrics before final release. Scenes, endings, and character arcs may be adjusted based on aggregated audience response. This process is widely reported and considered standard industry procedure. The hidden insight is that what appears to be a finished artistic vision may actually be a refined product shaped by audience data before public release. Public relations management is also deeply structured. Talent reputation, press narratives, and promotional messaging are often coordinated through professional PR teams. Crisis communication strategies, when controversies arise, are commonly discussed in media relations case studies. This does not automatically imply wrongdoing, but it does show how narrative framing is actively managed rather than passively left to chance. At the same time, balance is important. The Hollywood business system has also enabled groundbreaking films, global storytelling exchange, and major technological innovation in visual media. Many investigative journalists and film scholars emphasize that the system is complex, containing both opportunity and constraint. It is neither purely exploitative nor purely idealistic. It is incentive-driven, like most large industries. What makes this topic important is not scandal, it's literacy. When viewers understand the business mechanisms behind entertainment, they become more informed consumers of media. They recognize patterns, incentives, and structural forces that shape what appears on screen. That awareness does not reduce enjoyment, it deepens understanding. So the next time you watch a major release, consider the invisible layers behind it, the contract structures, the data models, the marketing engines, the distribution gateways, the franchise calculations, and the global strategy filters. These forces don't remove creativity, but they do shape its path. Here's a thoughtful question to consider and discuss. Do you think data-driven content decisions improve entertainment quality by matching audience demand, or do they encourage safer, more predictable storytelling? There are strong arguments on both sides, and your perspective matters. If you're interested in more evidence-based deep dives into how global media and corporate systems really operate, subscribe for more global exposes and industry breakdowns. Stay curious, stay analytical, and keep questioning how systems work behind the scenes. Thanks for watching.